So good morning, everybody. So I'm gonna start with I'm gonna start now, and thank you for joining me once again. Angela Santa Maria, that's my sister. If you see another Santa Maria, that's very likely to be my sister. And you get to see who trained me, my sister, and that's why later on you're gonna understand why I'm a believer on getting trained before you get and you just jump into this industry, which is it's a tough business. This is a very, very tough business. I want to know, Angela, I want to know if because I did a different setup this time, and I would like to know if you are all listening.
Yes, I'm here.
That's my sister. All right, so let's start. First of all, thank you so much for joining me this time. I'm going to be talking about becoming an in-house. I get this question all the time. How do I jump into this business and this part of the real estate? And real estate has many sides, and this is just a little tiny one of them. It's a very attractive part of our business because it's very glamorous. Let's put it that way. It's a very it's just very glamorous, and you sit in an office, you're pretty all day long because you need to talk to people. So that it makes it very attractive to a lot of people. Now, what is it that to become an in-house? And I want you all to understand something. The first thing that you need to understand when you are in this business. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to hit play. Well, I'm not gonna get it. Anyway, so what is the first thing that you need to understand when you come to this part of the business? Who is your client? So, guys, your client, my client, it's you. You are my client. There is a myth at believing that we go to a sales office just like any other sales center or sales office in a general real estate office, that you will sit in a general real estate office and you're gonna have clients walking in, and it's not definitely that's not the case. We do not. It's very rare that we have clients walking in. Why? Because there is a lot of the offer for development is quite big, is wide. So the realtors clients don't get to know every single development in town. So who are going to be the ones taking the clients to the sales center? You, the realtor. The realtor are going to be walking into that sales center with the client. From 1 out of 10 are going to be just a random client walking into the sales center and is going to buy a unit. That is very rare. And it depends of the sales center, how well located it is, how attractive it is, how beautiful it is, and not all the time we get to have a beautiful sales office. Sometimes we are sitting in a trailer. Other times we are in the 20-something floor in a building. Other times we are in a beautiful sales center right in front of the ocean. So, but keep in mind, not always is the case to have a beautiful sales center because just because the budget or because we are not and the stage of the sales where we have the sales center ready. Sometimes we don't. So the most important thing, who's my client? My client is you, the realtor. The realtor are my clients, and that is the first thing that you have to switch. So if you're going to jump into this kind of industry, or this part of the industry, thinking that you're gonna get a lot of clients, Mr. Smith walking in with the wife, totally wrong. From that point on, you're gonna fail. Okay, so that is the first thing that I want you to understand. The realtors community is my client, where everywhere, national, international. So those I'm sorry, I'm having people that cannot. I'm logging in late, so I'm sorry about that. The realtor community can national and international. Those are my clients. We have a lot of international buyers, and we have a very extensive realtors community worldwide that work with us. So that is the first thing that you have to understand. So who is the in-house? What is it that you have to do when you are an in-house? Again, you are to serve your client, and your client is the realtor. Okay, so I'm here to serve you. I know we have to procure the sale, and we need to treat right the client, which is going to be the final buyer, and this and that. But when you're going to become the in-house, you have to understand that the most important thing is the realtor. I need to carry you. I need to spoil you. I need to attract you. I need to become your friend. The same thing that when right now that you are the realtor and you spoil your client, it's exactly the same relationship. So it's very important. I need to keep you informed. That's one of the most important things. At all times, you have to know where I am, what I'm doing, if I'm working or not working, if what is my project, and it's a 24/7 job, and this is not a part-time job. This is a full-time job. You have to know all the time what I'm doing, because you never know when you are going to have a client. And then you're going to know that I just posted 2 days ago, I posted something about my project, and you're going to contact me. You're not going to forget about me. I'm going to be in charge. I'm going to guide you as an in-house. Your mission is to guide that contract, take that contract all over the organization, the process during the lapse of 2, 3, 4 years, and make sure that paperwork reaches the final destination, which is closing. That all the paperwork, all the contract, everything is perfect. So that is something that you have to do all the time. It's not like you're going to hand this to a title company and then to someone else and then to, no. You will be in charge of all the paperwork. At all times, you are responsible. And why are you responsible? This is tied, and I'm going to talk later about this, it's tied to your commission. So another task is to give presentations to other realtors, sometimes individual, sometimes in group. I'm gonna do a break. I'm gonna be checking here and there the chat, because Andreina had to take a pause, so I'm not gonna have her help today. Okay, so no one has any question. If you have a question, post it on the chat, and then I'll reply. So I'm going to be doing presentations. You're going to go to offices anywhere. You're going to go to an office in Kendall, Homestead. You're going to go to Boca, name it. Sometimes you're going to catch a plane and go to Brazil, and you're going to go to New York. So it doesn't matter. You have to be available to give presentations all the time. This is a numbers game. The more, and everything is a numbers game. The more emails, postings, text, I don't know, video, name it, that you do, the more requests for presentations that you're gonna get. More presentations, more sales, okay? So this is a numbers game. So let's go back to the beginning. So if you're thinking that you're gonna get, and you're gonna just sit pretty in a desk, because everybody's gonna be walking in through that door and ask you, hi, do you have an apartment available? Well, that's not gonna be the case. You're gonna fail. So this, you have to hustle a lot, you know, a lot. So it's just a matter of numbers. Let me go. Oh, now I'm here. So you have to do floor time. You have to do reports. You have to follow orders, and you have to follow attire guidelines. Some projects, they do have some set attire, like some project that in the past they had this code about wearing everything, you know, most as possible black. So you have to follow that attire. Others like more skirts than others. Others like heels. Others require you to wear a full suit for guys. So this freedom that you have as a realtor to wear and dress anywhere you want, you need to consider that it's not going to be the case. And as silly as this sounds, trust me, some people underestimate this factor. They don't understand that they need to dress business style, or you know, just to take people in. So people sometimes forget it. So I just want you to consider before doing that, because if you are this person that, you know, you dress your way, you're gonna have a hard time in a sales center. Now, very important. Any questions so far? Please let me know. We are all good? Okay, seems to be that we are all good. How are you hired? This is a very important subject that sometimes people, let me guys, let me ask you something. Do you get to see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so the screen is good. Are we in the 1099 flyer slide?
The screen shows who is your client.
Oh my God. Why? Okay. So, why is that? Give me 1 second. It's not showing. I'm gonna leave it like this because the other way is not showing. So I'm gonna have to jump to this format, even though I don't like it that much. But okay. So so how are you gonna be hired? It's you're gonna be hired as an independent contractor. This is very important that you know, and don't come to a sales center and they under the you know, thinking that you're going to be hired as an employee, because you won't. Today, most of the companies they will hire you as a 1099. Is that what that means? That you are an independent contractor. You are not an employee. This is extremely important for you to understand, because that's gonna affect the way you see it, the way you understand the business, the way you behave. Absolutely everything in terms of taxes and in terms of the contract. So you're going to be hired as an independent contractor, and you're going to be given an agreement. All right. So that agreement is very it has been done by the company that is hiring you, the lawyers for that company. I recommend you get a lawyer and read that agreement very well. Very well. And why I'm telling you very well? Because you're going to be in that project for the next 2, 3, 4 years. It's a marriage. So if it is a marriage, you might as well you have the conditions very well understood. You have to know what will happen. You have to know what will happen if you get fired, if you want to leave and come back, if you want to leave someone, you have to know all the ins and outs. Why? Because you have invested a lot of time and effort, and you're going to have a lot of commissions to claim at the end. So read that contract very well and understand what is it that you're getting into. Extremely important. So another thing is about the behavior. When you are an independent contractor, you have this thinking that you see that picture that I put there. An employee is well dressed and is pretty and is sitting in an office. An independent contractor, we are realtors. We have this beautiful freedom to do and dress and work at the time that we please, the way that we please. And when you become an in-house, that is gone. I'm telling you, it is gone. You have to do floor time. You have to dress as asked. And so those are the things that I asked you. That I said at the beginning. So there is a gray area in our business that even though we are hired as an independent contractors, we also perform a lot of tasks as an employee. So we do follow orders. We have an ongoing relationship with the company. We do floor time, and we have to be there at a certain hours. And so we do everything that an independent contractor does, and we also do as an employee, but you are hired as a 1099, which is an independent contractor. Have it very clear. I mean, do not come in as an in-house thinking that you have going to have all the freedom in the planet, that you're gonna go on vacations anytime that you want, that you're gonna take your kids to school and then you're gonna come back. And guys, it's not the case. You have to do floor time. You have to follow orders. You have a set of rules that you have to follow. So actually, I have some colleagues here. Very nice to see Fernando and Vicky, and Angela. All right, so let's continue. So how is the structure inside the development world? How is this structure about in a sales center? We have the sales center, which is we are at the bottom, at the very bottom of the structure. We have in top of us, right in the middle between the developer and the sales center, we have the sales and marketing company. The sales there are different structures. Sometimes the developer itself hires the in-house. Those cases are very few, extremely few cases that a developer will venture to do this by themselves. Most of the time, a developer will hire a company to do the job of the sales and the marketing. Why? Because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and I think that the most important thing is the reach out. How do you reach out worldwide? Our market is very international. So if a developer doesn't have the reach to international markets, the velocity of the sales are going to be slower. So that is what a lot of developers make a mistake. The mistake is going to be at the moment of that they think that that they're going to save this money and they're going to just do it themselves, because again, they are thinking that everybody's going to walk into the sales center and voila, we're going to get a sale. No, it's not, absolutely not. It's not like that. So few developers venture doing this. Now, so what is the other structure? They hire a sales and marketing company. What is a sales and marketing company? Okay, those are the middle one. The middleman here in the formula. With those, to give you some examples, there's one Sotheby's, Cervera, Fortune. I think that those are the three biggest ones, and maybe here and there you're gonna find small companies trying to have a portion of the pie. But definitely the most successful formula would be the sales and marketing company. So that is the structure. Now, I want you to understand something. Let's say that you become an in-house today, and because you are friends of the developer, you're gonna be constantly jumping from the structure. You're gonna be stepping up one level. Do not do that. This in this structure, the developer is the sales and marketing company client. So by you trying, and you are an independent contractor, so there is no reason for you to be reaching out to the developer. That is a no, absolutely no. Do not do that. Just keep the relationship for inside the company that you're working for, which is the sales and marketing company. Now, is this a full-time job? Yes, it is. It's 24/7. You are an on-call ER doctor, just like that. Do not you think that you're gonna be walking into a sales center and you're gonna be a part-time person, because it is not. You're going to fail. It's not. You're not gonna succeed. It's a very competitive job inside. So if you are away and you are distant, you're gonna have a hard time with all with the sales and producing numbers. So do not do that, and come in with truly thinking and understanding that this is a full-time job. Yes, it is full-time. Now, let's talk about the floor time. How is inside? How do we work? We do have a floor time, and it depends. It depends on the size of the project. Sometimes bigger projects, like the red circle that I'm showing you right here, bigger projects, they require 5 agents or more. I've seen 10, 12, even 14 people for a project. And this is a very touchy subject, but because sometimes people think that because you're gonna put more agents, you're gonna get faster results, and it's not the case. I disagree 100% with this. I've seen it, but I disagree with it. It's like long years ago, very long years, I used to work for Oracle. It's one of the biggest software development companies. I will never forget this. We were having problems with a consulting, a big ERP development that we were doing, and a big mess. The client just wanted faster results. So the VP, the VP of consulting services goes to the client and says, listen, not because you bring 9 women, we're gonna give birth in 1 month. So with that, saying that is that it's not about bringing more people, it's about bringing the right amount of people with the right expertise, okay? So whenever you see a full, just very filled sales center, and they are inviting you to work in that sales center, I'm telling you, walk away. Because good people, good in-house are not that available. So what you're gonna find is a bunch of people that are very new, and trust me, it can be very chaotic. The sales process, the results of sales. Listen, I want you to understand, it goes to the best interest that project sells. It doesn't matter if you sell or my colleague sells. It's very important that the project sells. Why? Because if you are selling, but the rest of the 10 that are with you are not selling, that project is going to take 10 years to sell, or maybe they will cancel it, and you don't want that, because if that project is canceled, you're going to lose your entire time and effort. Okay. So medium developments, they have about 3 agents, per day, and the small developments, I'm saying 100 units, 150 units, they're not going to have that much of traffic. Or when it's a small project, it's a boutique project, and they have high price, usually what it is they have 2 agents. So it's more or less the structure inside. And how many working days do we have per schedule? Usually 4, sometimes 5, but that is the schedule. It's not the days that you're gonna work. Why? You're gonna end up working more time. Why? Because this always happens. You just finish. Let's say that you're gonna be working, I don't know, Thursday to Sunday. So right there you have 4 days. Guess what? Monday you had an appointment. So you have to dress up, and what are you gonna do? Remember, you're working for a 1%. We will get into that in a second. You're working for 1%. Are you gonna give up that very only appointment? No. So you're gonna dress up and you're gonna end up going to work. So it's very demanding, because you have to do floor time and you have to serve your clients. How many clients do you have? Well, how many realtors are in Miami? How many realtors are internationally? So you're gonna end up working a lot of hours and a lot of time. Any questions? I'm gonna do a break, just a small break for questions. I see that some people have joined in. Any questions? No questions. All right. So let me go to the next slide. How do I get the leads? This is very important, because it's the same way that you do it for your clients. The only difference is that your clients, it depends on the market that you're trying to reach in a general real estate. Maybe a wealthy client, you're not gonna be able to get the database or the number, the phone number, or the email, because it's gonna be more difficult. It's gonna be, it's gonna be private. So those are databases that I think that more challenging to get than the database that I'm pursuing. Why? Because your email is everywhere in the internet. I just go to, I don't know, Kite.com or KellerWilliams.com, DouglasElliman.com, and I go click, I see the roster, and I see the roster, and I just collect the email, and I collect all the emails, and that is going to be my database. So it's easier. I think that it's easier to get this database, but it's a big database. So you have to work very hard to get this database. If you walk into a development, let's say that you said, oh, I want to work tomorrow in a development, and because you know the developer, because you're very well connected, and you're gonna go to the office, and then you're gonna be I'm sorry, I got distracted with this question about the commission, and Jose Alvarez says no thanks. I'll explain you the numbers in a second, and then you decide if it's a yes or it's a not. So you have to do all the time lots of branding, marketing, floor time, repeat. Marketing, branding, floor time, and repeat. What is the myth? That you're gonna get a lot of people walking in through the door. Again, this is not the case. You have to work very hard to get the numbers. It's a numbers game. The more you do it, the more realtors that are gonna be working with you, and then you're gonna get those leads. So let's talk about the numbers and why is it that we do it. I see that a lot of people are losing interest, and it's like, I'm not going to be working for a 1%, 0.5%. Are you kidding me? I'm not going to be working for that. Well, what happens is that we don't do 1, 2 sales, 3 sales, I don't know, name it, 10 sales a year. We do a lot of sales a year. I mean, if you are really into this and you are betting for those numbers, you can get to sell, I don't know, 40, 50, 60. I got in one of the buildings that I sold, I got 110 contracts. So it's a number game. It's a lot of work, a lot of money, but you have to reach for those high numbers if you really want to make it. So how are you going to calculate your income? I want you to have this very clear for my fellow colleagues. Fernandez here, and they can tell you a little bit better about Vicky, about how this works. So, and Anna is a young in-house, and I'm very glad that she's here. So you're gonna take the building sell out. How much is the building? I mean, what is the total sales? The total sales of the building is 100 million, 400 million, 500, 1 billion, whatever the number. Ask how many people are going to be working on in that specific project. And then ask if the sales director is going to be selling. Okay, this is very important because you're going to add that number. So you're going to take the total sellout, you're going to divide it by the number of people selling. And then you're going to have an average of sales people, or an average of sales per agent, and then you're gonna multiply that by 1%, which is the standard. Again, as Jose Alvarez asked, what is the commission, and it's between 0.5 and 0.5 to 1.5, and then you're gonna have a potential income, and then that potential income you're gonna project it among the years to sell out, and then that's gonna be your income. Okay, so let's do an exercise in whatever. This is one scenario, and it's one of the worst scenarios. I mean, it's not such a good one. and I have here in the chat, Fernando is saying that it's not good to have a sales director because it becomes a competitor. Yes, that is right. And Fernando is saying it's really bad when you have a sales director, because realtors have the tendency to, to think that if you go straight to the developer, if you get straight to the sales director, you're gonna get a better deal. Perhaps, maybe not necessary, but for sure, that sales director is not gonna have the time to is not gonna have the time to take care of you. So you're gonna have a downside. So, and remember, it's 2-3 years to be managing a contract and doing presentations and taking the client and all this. That sales director is not gonna be available. And at the end of the day, probably with a good in-house, you're gonna get exactly the very same deal. Exactly the very same deal, because people with experience or people that are very let's leave it. I don't want to say aggressive, but I'm saying very experienced, and they're gonna get the deal. I guarantee you that I will know the in and outs of all the numbers for the project, so I'm gonna get exactly the same number than my sales director. So I just went back to the slide because someone just asked me. So this is one of the worst scenarios. Let's say a small project with units that are, let's say, around the 400,000, more or less, and you have 12 people in the project, all right? So this is actually we have seen this scenario, and I think that we have it happening today. So you have 200 million to sell, and you have 12 people in the sales center, and you have a selling sales director. So what is the potential? 15 million. So 15 million times 1% is $150,000 is the money that you're gonna get out of that project in the terms of 3 years. So you're gonna end up making $50,000. My question is, that the money that you want to make, is that worth it? So this is where people get confused and get very flustered because they get invited to be part of a development. I want you to do your numbers, because inside those 12, you're going to have Andres Villalobos. Thank you for joining us. We'll do a Q&A at the very end. So when you have those, among those 12 people, I'm telling you, 4 of those are big sharks. Another 2 are tigers. And then you're not gonna have much to sell. I'm doing this just to make it balanced, but, and on top of that, you have a selling sales director. So this is a very dangerous scenario. Do yourself a favor, just don't do it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Why? Because $50,000, it's a high risk for someone new, because in the terms of 3 years, many things can happen. Remember, you are an independent contractor, and you can get fired at any moment for not performing without any excuse. And your commissions, you're going to be collecting commissions at the very end, at closing. So if you get fired, you lose those commissions. It's not like you're going to come back in 2 years or 3 years to claim the commissions. It does not happen. It's not like that. So think twice if you're going to join in on a scenario like this.
Well, I want to add something, Beatrice, if you allow me to. That's a great scenario, but keep in mind also that that would be the maximum under that scenario. So if everything is successful, you get those numbers. But remember, not all the time everything is successful. So you end up with a 60% of that, 70% of that. So it's a lot to risk So you do
Exactly.
do your numbers before you jump into something, because it looks very good, but at the end of the day, when you divide it among the years you have to be stuck into a project, then it might not be that good. That's it.
Correct. So David is asking, you lose all commissions if you file? Yes, just like that. Boom. So you have the commission only in the end. No, it's a no. I'll explain that in a minute. How do you get paid the commission? So let's say a better scenario, it'll be, remember that what is it that I changed here? How many people are on the floor? It's very important. Sell out, how many people are on the floor? How many people are going to be selling? Very important. Why? Because the more people that are selling, the less sales that you're going to make. That it's as simple as that. So if you have less people, see that number jumps to 83,000. And let's say this is a very common scenario in a regular project with about, with a sellout for 200 million, which is it's in the low range. It's a common project. It's very common. It's a very common project. So those are the numbers. Now, what is the best scenario? This is the best scenario. The best scenario is that you're going to be working in a $900 $1 billion sellout. This is a high-end sellout. Usually, today you're going to find them in Coconut Grove in Sunny Isles, and it's high sellout with about 6 people. It's 6 people, only 6. So the sellout, you're going to divide 900 divided by 150, divided by 6, you're not going to buy $100 million times 1%. Then the numbers, you're going to divide it by, you divide it and you get $1,500,000. Now, these big charts, you have to, sometimes it takes longer time and longer, 3, 4, 5 years. So you're going to end up making $1,500,000 is the total money that you're going to be making, but it takes longer, 5 years. So 5 years is you will make about $300,000 a year. This is a great scenario. Now, how do you get into those 6? These 6 people that you see here, you have to be a very experienced one. Let's say that you're not experienced, but you just happens that you are a good friend of the developer. Fine, you're going to be working in that sales center, but remember, the other 5, they have earned the position and they have experience, they know a lot. So what happens is that they're going to run over you. So be careful. Be careful with your relationship, because this is a very aggressive and competitive market, and choose your battle. How do you join and when do you join in a development? Any questions? Anyone wants to say anything? Okay, no question. No one wants to say anything else. All right. So I don't have a slide to say when to join in a development. Let's say that today you get called for, I don't know, Beach Life. I don't know. Let's say that the project is called Beach Life, and someone, they tell you, why you don't come over, join us and be here, and it's so nice. My sister is telling me that she got disconnected. I don't know how to get it back. So what can I do? I mean, she has to come back. All right. So when to join? I want you to understand something and be very careful. Very careful. If when we launch a project, we are 6 or 15 of us in-house. We start marketing. Usually since the beginning, we already have a following. We have realtors that already follow us all the time. So by year 1 or year 2, I already have my following, and everybody's gonna know that it's like right now, I'm at Armani. So people already know that I'm at Armani, and they're gonna be following me, and they're gonna be calling me because I'm at Armani, okay? So if you, tomorrow, you get called to be an in-house at Armani, you're gonna have a hard time trying to open that new market and try to find those new realtors. So it's gonna be very difficult. Same, let's say that you get called, I don't know, again, Beach Life, and Beach Life has been selling for 2 years, and they tell you come over, and you love it because you're gonna be in a beautiful project, beautiful sales center, and everything is amazing. You're gonna be part of a family. You're gonna have a very hard time opening, finding that market for you to sell. Be careful when do you join? When is the best moment to join? Moment 0, at the very 0. Now, when is moment 0? I got this question like 2-3 days ago. People start hiring, not even hiring, when the project is being in the conception time, architecture, permits, and that, the developer is already thinking about who are they going to hire. When this happens, 2 years before launching sometimes, a year before. So if you're thinking that you're going to be, we just launched the sales, the sales, and we've been working for 2 months, and you want to join, you are very late, because very likely we already have, we've been called a year ago. We already know about this project a year ago. So you are already late. It's very hard to get a project from moment 0. And especially if you are new, because we are right now, our community is about no more than 300 in-house in the Miami, Broward areas. We are not that many in-house. This community, 300 people that we already know each other, we already know who is doing what and who's good. We already reaching out for that project. So for you that are new, trying to get that project is going to be even more difficult. But if you have the right connections, maybe you will get in. But if you already know, and this is my very good advice, so if you already know that project from the right person, and you know that they're gonna put you on the floor, even though you're not experienced, start building your database, and learn social media, learn about videos, learn about texting, learn about everything. Why? Because it's going to be you're gonna have a hard competition by the moment that we launch, because you are new and I already have my following. So you have to speed up. If you're gonna wait for the development to start so you can start building your clientele, you're done. I'm telling you, you're done. Done. Forget it. So any questions? Any question here? The whole sales are shared among the entire sales team? No, absolutely no. Thank you, Carmen, for asking that. This used to be a common setup a couple years ago, the prior cycle, but no, it's not the case. Because again, it's about numbers and it's about experience. So you think that everybody's gonna work the same? Not everybody works the same. Not everybody is committed. It's a very long-term relationship. And maybe we're gonna be friends and family for the first 2 years, the first 2 months. But you know what? By year number 2, when I see that I bring in more than numbers, I'm gonna be very pissed off. So no, experienced and high number in-house do not go to a project where it's, we call it a pool, where it's a pool. We don't do that. So the sales and marketing company and the developer have to choose. Do I do a pool and I don't have drama, because that's what they're thinking, that they're not gonna have drama and fights and all this, but it's not the case. We're gonna have drama anyway. When I see that scenario and experience people like I see Fernando here and myself, I do not take a job where it's a pool. No, absolutely no. Why? Because Fernando has my good colleague here. He has about 20 years experience. Literally, he's one of the pioneers in this. So he has a great following, and I work very hard, and I'm very aggressive with my marketing. So I know that I'm gonna get the numbers. Just to tell you, I'm not reaching out for that standard number. No, I'm reaching out to get. I'm not gonna lie. When I get to a project, I want to sell 25 to 30% of the building. That's my number. So I do my numbers this way: sell out times 30%, perhaps 40%, and if I like the number, that's the way I go. I don't care if we have 15 people, me personally, but that's because I already have a following and I already have my numbers. So I'm just reaching out for the big cake. That's my personality. So I don't need to share my work with everybody. Yeah, Fernando.
No, I was thinking that you are right. I mean, pool doesn't work, to be honest with you. Pool doesn't work for anybody. And it's not a matter of create a war among agents. It's a matter of, everybody has to do his own job, It's different. It's a different thing if we create a companionship among the sales team. But having a pool, maybe I'm the one who sells the most, but the other one, maybe you have a person that likes to come late, doesn't like to come on weekends. Unfortunately, that happened before. Some developers did it in the past and it didn't work. Maybe some developers are still thinking, to try to do it, but that doesn't work. And it doesn't give you the opportunity, to show yourself that you can do a good job, because then you're going to be sharing your job, your responsibility, your effort.
Correct. But I think that the developers learn the lesson, because they don't find people who want to do that. I don't take pools. I will take a pool, perhaps with my sister, with Mr. Arlis Morales, which is here with us. I know that she's a very hard worker with you, Fernando, perhaps. It depends on the conditions and the market and the project, but it's complicated. It's a very complicated, because I'm going to be doing a lot of sales, and at the end, I'm going to share my pocket with everybody else. And it's not going to work. I'm going to be very pissed. All right? So no, we do not pool. So what is my monthly income? Where is my income? So remember, we are independent contractors. We don't get a salary. We get a draw. What is a draw? A draw is an advance commission. So what they do in a good faith, and it depends of your experience. I've seen draws from 1,000 and 1,500 a month. That I've heard in some projects up to 7,000, 8,000. It depends. It depends of your experience, the budget of the project, and that. I don't know why would you consider something for 1,500 or 2,000 a month. But if if you want to do it because you want to get experience and you want to grow in this side of the business, then do it. Remember, why to get in this side of the business? Well, because when you get experience, and if you're a fast learner, remember, you can get up to $300,000 a year, and it's very possible. But you have to work very hard and you have to be very aggressive. You can do it. It can happen, even if it's not 300, even if it's 200, and to like bring great amount of money. I mean, doctors get this kind of income. So that's why we still in this business, because at some years we get to reach those numbers. But guess what? Other year we reach this number. Why? Because we are in between projects. So those are the things that you have to consider. Who are you going to be working for as well? So how do I get my money? You get a draw. You're going to get a draw. It depends of, your relationship, the company that you're working for. It depends on the budget of the project. But definitely you're going to get a draw during the time of reservations. This is a standard. I'm sorry, it's standard. It's a common practice. Not necessary it's for every project, but it's very common that you're going to get a draw for the time of reservations. And until we start construction or until we start paying that first 20, 30%. I just threw some numbers here just for you to understand. But until we get contracts or groundbreaking, you're going to get some money. I mean, money for your commissions. But you sold, so you're going to get that part of the commissions that is going to be paid. Realtors get paid 20% of the total commission. Remember the payment structure, that payment structure that you see on all the developments, and that the same way the commissions are paid for you and for me. So you're going to get paid that 20%. And that 20 and the other 20%, the realtor, and we will get it. So, and then more or less around groundbreaking, you're gonna get another chunk of money, and then at the very end, you're gonna get the rest of the money. Now, remember, you have to survive those 2, 3, 4 years. Why? Because if you don't get to closing, you're gonna lose the big part of your money. So you have to survive. What is it that you have to survive? You have to sell, you have to do floor time, you have to go to the sales center, you have to do appointments, you have to be active. This is not a part-time job, and this is not such an independent job. You are very committed. You have to be very committed. So you, from the moment that you start, you collect that big golden nugget, as my friend Arlene said, is the big chunk, is the big part of your commission. So let's say that if you have, I'm just throwing a number, you have a draw of $5,000 a month, okay? During 6 months, and at the 6 months, someone is with the microphone. Hold on. Let me mute Claymar. Okay. So let's say that you did the sales, you sold in the terms of 6 months during the reservation time, you sold 30 units, and so that means that you made $120,000. So that's a good money to be, it's a lot of money for 6 months of sales. I mean, wow, that's nice. And that's what it gets interesting. You like it because you have $120,000. How much is it that you're going to be paid? You're going to be paid 20% at the moment of the contract or groundbreaking. So they're going to pay you $24,000. But those $24,000, you have to pay back that draw, right? So now you owe $11,000. Now you have to go, so you have to keep selling and go for the next payment. And that's how it goes until you are positive. So that's how we get paid. We don't get paid a salary, we get paid a draw, and that draw is discounted every time that you get paid. That's it. Fernando, you have anything to say?
No, I was just giving an answer to Claudia that was asking what's the three advices, that you should have to get experience. And I was advising from my personal experience. I have to learn a lot about the market. So that way, if I am working for a developer in particular, I know about that specific development and a good attitude. And of course, you have to meet a lot of people. You have to do marketing by yourself first in order to meet people, meet clients, because developers are looking for sales agents that have a good network. And that's the way it is. I was just answering, Claudia, her concern about that. I'm talking about the draws that you are talking about. That the more agents you have in a sales office, the less draw you receive. So
exactly, that has to do with the budget.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
if I have to give you the best advice, I mean, definitely to me, in my opinion, the best advice is consider this a full-time job, and second, database and marketing. Full-time, database, marketing, repeat. Full-time, database, marketing, repeat. And that's it. And then you're gonna do good. And you have to do it, because through that door, no one is walking. I'm telling you, no one. And Fernando, Angela, Alice, people that are here, Vicky, we have following, and you have to build up those new relationships. Now, the good news is that it happens that you walk into a sales center where that people are not that friendly. So you are the friendly individual in that office, so people are gonna come to you because they don't have other options. That is another scenario. So those are the three advices. So let's go. What are my expenses monthly? You're gonna be spending money in social media, in email platform like a Constant Contact, MailChimp, I don't know, name it. There are thousands of them there, and a text platform if you are now into that. And many of us, we spend a lot of money. When I'm telling you a lot, it's a lot. I mean, some people spend as little as $100, and $100 is minimum, or you can spend up to $2,000 a month. And that's people that have big databases, that invest in new platforms and in new ways to reach out to you, the realtor. So keep in mind, remember the draw, minus these expenses, minus the clothing expenses, minus going to the office every day. So do the balance. Do the balance and do your math. Because if you're gonna jump in this, I want you to tell you that it's a very competitive market, because there is always the possibility that you're gonna be making $300,000 or more a year, and it's a great income. But for you to do that, you have to be very, very, very aggressive. You have to invest, and you have to database, marketing, floor time, repeat. Database, marketing, floor time, and repeat. Period. That is the secret. There is no secret. You have to commit to your audience, which is your realtors, physically and virtually. That is the secret. That's all. There is no other secret in this industry. You can end up making a lot of money. Now, besides the money, if you think that you're gonna get clients, a final buyer, yes and no. Not because you're gonna be so busy with all the realtors that honestly you're not gonna have time to do general real estate. So that's a no. Yes, because there are realtors that make the horrible mistake of taking a client to the sales center, they do the reservation, poof, and they disappear. And they forget about that client, and I'm gonna be babysitting that client for the next 2-3 years, and that realtor only comes to me or to the client at the very end, 2 years or 3 years later, for the closing and claim the commission. So you got the commission, but that client is gonna remember me. So it happens. It does happen, and I'm gonna be the very first one to tell you that at the very beginning I was very against this. But I mean, come on, guys, if you forget about your client, and I've been dealing with this client, sometimes a very difficult one, for 3 years. What do you think, that I'm gonna say no to this guy that is been reaching out to me and I've been dealing with for the last 2 years, and you just disappear? But how many of those cases do we get? Few, very few. So my general real estate database, I mean, end buyer, so I can get that 5% commission. No, it's very small. So no, I don't do that. Any other question? So how to get in? Again, I go to the structure. The structure, yeah, Fernando, you gonna say something? Try to, I was just gonna say that, just wait. One slide away to take that, Fernando. How to get in? If you can get in through,
Because it's important, you know, you want to be an in-house.
No. That's my last slide, the very last slide. So
Good.
how to get in? You can go to an in-house and ask. You can go to the sales director, ask, listen, do you have any project coming that maybe you think that I could join, and this and that and blah blah blah. Or you can you can go to the sales and marketing company. As I said, we have Sotheby's, Fortune, Cervera. Those are the 3 big ones. Or you can go to the vice president of sales. You can go to the CEO of that company. You can go to the developer. These are the different levels that you can reach out. We all have connections. You choose, all right? My advice, which is how I started and how very successful in-house today. I mean, when I'm telling you, remember, let me go back because I love this number. I cannot get enough of this number. Remember this $300,000? Well, I'm gonna tell you, most of the people that reach these numbers, this is how they started. They started being an in-house assistant. That's the best way, my opinion, my humble opinion, and I'm very glad that Fernando agrees with me right now. Be someone's assistant. And if you want to learn the in and out of this, you can start today. Maybe dedicate 1 day a week, 2 days a week. Go to the sales center and sit next to an in-house and see what they do, or may get to know how the dynamics are. Why? Because when we launch a project, if you are new, it doesn't matter if you are, if you are the very good friend of the developer, I'm telling you, you're gonna be run over. Just like that, run over. Instead, if you from now you start being, you are with someone, seeing how we behave, what do we do, how do we do it, and you start building your database, people get to know you. My sales director is gonna get to know you, other sales director, you go to events and you start connecting. And then you're gonna get a chance to be part of a development. So start doing it now. But don't you think that you're gonna jump into a project? Because today, like I belong to, I work for Desert. Desert, we have a lot of land to develop. I already know what are the projects that are coming in. When, I don't know. That part, I don't know. But I know that it's a good sellout. I know that it's a good number of agents. So I'm keeping quiet. I'm working, and I'm going with, keep selling what we're selling today, and getting to know, because I started late. Remember that starting late is very difficult. It is very difficult. I've experienced everything. I've been an in-house. an assistant. I was my sister's assistant for about 5 years. And at the end of the 5 years, I got my first project by myself. And I'm telling you, I scored big numbers. So, but I was her assistant, and being my sister's assistant, it's a trip, because she's very demanding, and she's very demanding. She's very structured. She's and she has a lot of years doing this, just about the same time that Fernando has been doing it. So go with someone that has been in this industry for a very long time, because they're gonna teach you the best. And that's I'm very grateful for my sister, because she honestly, she really trained me. So today, what I'm telling you is, I already go with a company that has a long reach, that has a good reputation, and that is very important. Try to go to a company where they do not get projects canceled. Why I'm telling you this? Because it's not only you. It's not only you. It doesn't matter if you do a great job, but if you sales and marketing company, they don't perform and they don't take the right decision, your project is gonna get canceled, and all the money is gonna be gone. All your commissions are gonna be gone, and you just wasted your time. Literally, you wasted your entire time. So try to investigate what is that company. So let's say you decided to go with, I don't know, whatever, any company, because there is a friend of yours that is an in-house, and you're gonna be shadowing that friend of yours. But that friend of yours is working for this company. That is a company that it doesn't have a proven record of maintaining projects, and so it's very complicated. So shadow that in-house, knowing that maybe you can jump to another company. Choose right. I mean, investigate the company that you're gonna be joining. So my sister, are we getting lots of credit? Yes, Angela. Yes, you're getting a lot of credit, because you're great. You're good. That's my lovely sister. Any other question? We're done, Edwin. I know that you have to go, but we're done. Just if you have any other question, that said, being an in-house, it can be very rewarding. You can make a lot of money. You can go above the 300,000, but also you can be broke. So if you're gonna be an in-house, be a good one, be the best one. Please compete with me. I would love your competition. Bring it on, but don't come in just because it's pretty and maybe you're gonna sell a couple of units, because you're gonna be broke. I'm telling you, you're gonna be broke. Any other question? Fernando, anything to say?
No, congratulations. This topic, it could take us, hours to talk about that. And I'm glad that you are doing this, because a lot of people has a misunderstanding about becoming an in-house like the best of the best. It's not the best of the best, It's an experience, but it's not the best of the best. And I'm glad that you are doing this, because people can learn, all the good ones and the bad ones about this industry.
I do want to add something to this presentation. If someone wants to combine general real estate and in-house sales, I definitely say do not recommend. Either you focus on one or focus on the other one, but you won't succeed on both. Do one, get good at it, or do the other one. but do not do both. If you don't want to abandon your clients for getting real estate, then find a partner that can do that for you. But I guarantee you, you won't be successful. You won't have that structure that you need to do the in-house. It's a lot of work.
But Angela, it's not only that. Many developers want, or sales and market companies, they don't allow you to do general real estate.
Correct. That's why. That's why. But some do. So I'm just letting you know, they need to keep that in mind, because the reason is because it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Vicky. Hi, Vicky. Anything else to say? Vicky has nothing to say. Awesome presentation. Killing it in PowerPoint. Thank you, Vicky. I can do the presentation for you anytime. Anna Chacon. Anna, thank you for joining us. I'm very, very happy that you joined us, because you know, the new in-house, sometimes they don't have this information from the beginning, or no one told them what is how they jump in. So a lot of people just jump into the sales center, and they don't know this in and out, and they find out, you know, halfway the project, and say, oh my God, I wish I should have known before. But I'm very happy. I'm very glad that you joined us. All right, any other question? I'm gonna leave you right here. Thank you for joining me. And Andres, anything to say? Andres Villalobos. Andres Villalobos, he's working for Missoni in Mexico. If you get to have someone, he's representing OCO in Mexico. Just an adorable guy. He's just a big teddy bear, that's all. Anything to say, Andres?
I think that you did a great job telling everybody the truth in a very realistic perspective with the pros and cons, and that's the way it is. I mean, it's not a easy industry to get in, but once that you learn all the topics that you already presented, you can be successful.
Yep, and make good money. We have.
Yep.
I have to be honest. Sometimes we get good years, very good years, and other years we're broke. So you have to balance out. When you make a lot of money, guys, save money, because you're gonna have some years that are not gonna be that good. So do not spend the money. You have to balance it out. All right, guys. Bye. Let's work. We have a lot to do. Thank you for joining me. Remember, next Thursday, 10 a.m., I'm going to come up with another subject. We have a lot of subjects in the development world. So join me. Now I'm creating my YouTube channel. So I will be emailing you my YouTube channel. And I'm going to be just posting little tips here and there about development and how do we get these numbers. All right. See ya. Bye-bye.
My hand.